welcome back to Matter of Fact. Today I got for y'all our mock draft 5.0. It's going to be our final mock. And for our final mock, we're going to do a two-rounder. And just a couple more days, man. How you feeling? I know you're not really into the antics of
Yeah, I
mock.
mean, for me, I'm like, all right, bro. We could have fucking had this draft 2 weeks ago. So like, I'm just kind of like ready for us to wrap it up. But
And how would we stretch everything out if we did that? You know, what I mean, how would the
right,
media be able to stretch out the narratives
because
if
I
we
mean,
did it like
now
that?
it's just it's ridiculous. I mean, I appreciate draft season. You know what I'm saying? I love it, but maybe also because this year was kind of in regards to the stars. There's a bunch of good starters, but there isn't that crazy group of elite pass catchers, playmakers, like cool picks, I guess. So I'm just kind of like, all right, like let's just do this, make the right
Yeah,
choices, get out of here safe.
yeah. I just can't wait for this shit to be over. It feels like my year doesn't like it's like a monkey on my back. It's like, all right, can we just get this shit pushing? But luckily we got playoff basketball, distract a little bit. But your odds, I'm evens, and that's going to go into the second round. So keep that in mind for some of the teams and the needs and whatnot. We're kind of going to have to bounce off each other's picks for a couple teams. But Tennessee, number one.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, that's you.
Oh yeah, Cam Ward. Yeah, basically simple as that. You know, the right now he's at like -2,000 to get drafted first overall, which is kind of pretty crazy odds. So yeah, lock that one in there.
Yeah, it helps that he has Traylon Burks as one of his favorite receivers or whatever, what he said playing Fortnite. So it's pretty
Mm-hmm.
much set in stone. Cam Ward, I think he's going to do great things. Steve McNair 2.0 maybe. But Browns number two. This is what we think is going to happen. Drive. We both have our own sources and things we like to tap into, but the pick is seeming like Travis Hunter, and this is how I felt they should have went. If you watch my what I would do mock draft, I think they should definitely go best player available. Only a couple blue chip players, and this guy really wants to play both sides. Two positions of need for him in terms of a wide receiver two. Maybe he could be the wide receiver one, and someone to pair with Denzel Ward. You know, he's not getting any younger.
Yeah. I mean, they feel as if they're really enamored with the wide receiver. I was reading an article today. I guess some people still are kind of up in the air on what kind of defensive back or wide receiver he'll be in the league. Some of the sources from the Athletic, by the way, some of the executives believe that he plays too much at the line of scrimmage when it comes to being a wide receiver. But then there's other scouts that think he's Justin Jefferson like. And then obviously that guy, he believes that he could be a cornerback, be a 10 interception cornerback. So, blue chip player, great player to have. I guess they're going to just throw other darts at the quarterback position. But yeah, I really do like the pick, like the player. For three, none of this really making sense to me, but it looks like, at number three, they're going to go best player available too. Just kind of add to a crazy strength that you guys already have. I know you probably heard the rumors out right now that they're kind of hoping that Abdul Carter drops to four or whatever, because apparently if he drops to four, the Eagles might try to package something up to go get him. Yeah, that I mean it's the rumor, and
I haven't heard
they
that one.
might, yeah, they might have something. They might have a package. They might have a similar package to whatever they want to do for Myles Garrett. But yeah, you know what I mean. Apparently, the Eagles are a secret team that could try to be moving into the top five of the draft. And if they would, I'm assuming it'd be for Abdul Carter. But at three, Abdul Carter to the New York Giants to rock with Russ and Jameis Winston.
Why are you saying that like he a receiver or something?
You gonna have to take care of him, bro. You gonna get the ball back from him and shit.
Shit's crazy. I'm hoping it's all smoke, but we'll see, man. Only a couple more days. Only a couple more days. All right, for the Patriots, this is worst case scenario for them. If this happens, I think they'd really want to trade back. And if someone were to trade back, we're not doing trades, but if someone were to trade back, I would assume it'd be for Genty to try to jump the Raiders. But if they're here, I think Genty could be a spot here if there's no Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I kind of mentioned it like before, just because based off again the draft, this isn't one of those special draft like the 2021 draft where it was super like star studded, and even last year's draft where you got cats like Brock Bowers, you know what I mean, falling all the way to 13th. So if I'm Patriots and I really feel that way about Genty, I think I just rock. Like I would just draft Genty. But maybe they try to trade out of the pick, or again, a lot of people really like Will Campbell. Like Will Campbell is the opposite of Shedeur Sanders in this draft during this draft process, where he's the football guy that everybody likes. So, I know he had that little situation with his arms, but I think people are going to give him the benefit of the doubt and let him get a chance at left tackle. Like I've heard people like literal scouts say, well, I'm gonna let him get take a chance at left tackle. He gets to take a shot at it. And if it doesn't work, we'll kick him inside. So I think he goes at 4 if they stay.
Yeah, and that's what I plan on doing. I think they would trade down to get him if they could, but you would need a dance partner for that. If the board works out like this, I don't think you could really go wrong in terms of how it's perceived. I think you could sell the team on it, and it is a position of need. And I do think he kind of suffered a little bit from just the off-season drafting fatigue.
Yeah.
Hold up. And, yeah, I think he'll play with a chip on his shoulder. He seemed pretty frustrated when he was addressing the arm length thing. So there's that, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, obviously he's a competitor. So he's like, yo, I've been doing this for 3 years. No one's complaining. Now all of a sudden it's coming out. Okay, whatever, which I feel him. But I also think that, last year, again, I hate bringing back this draft class, but even last year with Joe Alt was so much better than Will Campbell is. It's not like Will Campbell is this set it and forget it offensive lineman that like never got whooped. Buddy was getting whooped. He got whooped by players that are in this draft. By some edges that are in this draft. Whereas like Joe Alt, he got better every single year. And like I don't think he ever had more than 7 pressures in a season. I don't think he ever gave up more than 7 pressures. So it's just kind of like as a player and as a position, maybe they might punt it. And if maybe they go Tet. Maybe this is where Tet goes. You know what I mean? They're like, you know what? Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Let's shake it up. Let's get the most talented player on our board. And maybe that might be Genty or Tet.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Tet. That is another position in need. I mean, they have a lot of needs. So ideally, they'd want one of the blue chip guys. But if not, I think they'd want to really trade down. Like, I think they'd try hard to trade down and just get like a Tet or get like a Will Campbell. And maybe they feel like, look, this is such a deep running back class. We don't need to sit here and get Genty because there's a couple guys that we like in the second, third, fourth.
Yeah, or maybe they might feel that way about the tackle position. They might really feel like if they draft the best wide receiver, they feel like Tet's one of the best players in this draft, or Genty's the best player in this draft. Maybe they feel like they'll just take 2 or 3 athletic linemen throughout the draft that they've kind of really, really been studying or what.
Yeah.
Someone's called. Oh, never mind. Yeah.
All right, but 5 Jags.
So with the Jags, I actually think this might be where Genty goes. I could really see them going Genty here, and the only reason I say that, and I actually mentioned it before on the pod, but last year Liam Cohen, he had Bucky Irvin. Bucky Irvin went crazy. They went trenches in the first round, and in the fifth round they got Bucky. They had a 2-man backfield with Rashad White and Bucky Irvin. Um, he actually came out last week or the week before, and he said that Bucky Irvin was worth the first round pick. Like we would have drafted. He was like, yeah, if we would have knew he was going to be that nice, we would have drafted him much higher. So I had already been on the, Liam Cohen knows what a good running game can do for a quarterback, and also like I've been on that kick with him and you doing it with Graham Barton, and I can just see him feeling like with Genty, revamping the offensive line, having better offensive line schemes, especially like running schemes. I think that they'll be able to do something, and he'll just want a special back again to help his quarterback, who would need some help right now.
So you're going Genty at 5?
Yeah, I'm going Genty at 5. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Ted Genty just pop off, like if it goes like that.
Yeah, me either. And this is something I've been talking about because, everyone's kind of slating Genty over here at 6 for the Raiders. But shit, I mean, is ETN and Tank Bigsby like stopping you if you're really into Genty like that?
I mean, no, it wouldn't stop me. And again, this is, they already have some pretty quote unquote blue chip type offensive players on their team. They got a quarterback, they got a wide receiver 1, which is again why I could also see them going Ted. Just shaking it up, Ted at 5. Never even gets, back into the top 10, don't even get a shot at him. So it's like I mean Jaguars could really, really shake it up. But yeah, I think if we only get one quarterback in the top 3, I think we really gonna have some fun.
Okay. Now Raiders fans sick to their stomach. They already ordering Genty jerseys, mock Genty jerseys, and in this case, it's a wrap for them. Too damn bad. Draft's unpredictable. Here, I'm thinking Tet, but honestly, I'm hearing rumors that the league is higher on this guy than we might think, and despite how we feel about Pete Carroll and O-line, running the ball, whatever. You got to remember he did have the Legion of Boom. I think this is a spot where if there's no Genty, they could easily go Jahdae Barron. I think he strikes me as a Pete Carroll type of guy. And didn't they just lose Jack Jones, or am I tripping?
Yeah, that would be such a Raiders pick. I would. Like he's 24, 5'11". Like I mean, I'd like him as a football player, but like, yeah, this would be the Raiders pick or fucking Matthew Golden.
Yeah, and you got to keep in mind they didn't retain Morig, who's a safety, but they do need some help in the secondary. It is a position in need, and their offense is looking pretty smooth right now with what they got. So I don't know if they're that high on Tet, but I can see Barron going there if there's no Genty.
Yeah. All right, and then for 7, the team I love to hate, the New York Jets. Again, I think this actually would make the most sense for Mason Graham, pairing him up with Williamson, and you know what I mean. They have a defensive minded head coach, so I think he would love to pick, select a defensive player with his first pick as the new head coach for them. So yeah, I think this is Mason Graham right here.
Yeah, this is a best case for the Jets. A lot of people think he's going to the Jags, but they stick and pick and go here. And like you said, Aaron Glenn, defensive minded guy, and when Zach Wilson. They almost made the playoffs with Zach Wilson. It was because of that defense, kind of get back to that kind of identity. I could see it. Yeah. With the Panthers, obviously, I like Tent here. Well, I guess it's not obvious unless you've kind of seen some of my commentary, but from what I'm reading and the tea leaves, it's looking like they're going defense, which is another area of need, so a premium position. And even though I'm not as high on this guy, I'm going based off what I think is going to happen, and what I think is going to happen, it's feeling like a Jalen Walker pick.
Yeah, I mean they just let Frankie Louvu walk, and he basically is supposed to be able to do the same things as him, play a little bit of pass rushing on third down, be able to be a inside linebacker first and second. So I could see them get a nice little young infusion of elite defensive football player, and he's ranked higher than the Twitter scouts have him. Like the Twitter scouts have him kind of in the 20s, late teens, but even Dane Brugler has him at 5 on his personal big board. So he was like,
I think Daniel Jeremiah has him at 5 as well.
Yeah, so that's just to go to show you, they wouldn't have him there unless somebody told them to kind of slot him there. So
unless multiple people, honestly.
Right. Yeah. And so here we go. Saints.
You got picked for him this time, my boy.
I mean, again, I'm gonna go with what everybody's saying. Apparently, they're kind of good on Shador, and that might be true, but I just don't know. I just don't see how Kellen Moore could get a new head coaching job and not want to take a crack at having a quarterback. But for whatever reason, football players are not. I mean, these football organizations aren't really a fan. And one thing about the Saints, I feel like they never really get scrutinized for picking people with players with checker passes. So I think this is where Mike Green ends up going, pass rusher out in Marshall.
Oh, Mike Green.
Yeah, and so there's a funny thing about Mike Green that someone on Twitter said. I think it was Hayden Winks, Josh Norris. Basically, it was Hayden Winks. Basically, what he was saying was that nobody has chosen to interview Mike Green. Like nobody's invited him on their 30 player visits and all of that. So he thinks that's because some of these teams that are in this part of the draft basically don't want it to be known that they're interested in him as a player, as a prospect. So, a lot of teams that you would think, Atlanta, Cincy, Detroit, the Colts, none of these Saints, none of them brought him in for a 30 player.
Chargers,
right. So it's just like, he was like, that's kind of interesting. And I think it's because people are going to try to see if he can slip through the cracks and get to him late in the teens or early in the teens.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's definitely interesting.
Because wouldn't he be the type of player you would want to interview and you would want to kind of bring in for a visit?
Yeah, but then why doesn't that happen more often with certain players that we see go higher than we really expected?
Maybe it does. And it's just not, you know what I mean? Like maybe if we actually took our time and
sat down and looked at it, because when I said that, I was like, well, have I looked into that?
Right.
Even know? Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why I thought that was a nice tidbit, because it's like, that is interesting. Mike Green ain't going no 30-day visits. Nobody wanted to talk to him. Okay. Jeremy Tunsil. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely strange. You say Tunsil?
Tunsil?
Yeah, no, I'm saying just because it's like, nigga, is he doing a line of blow or something?
You don't remember? Oh my God, you don't remember what happened to? Oh my God, bro.
No, I know the gas mask shit, but I'm saying why are you why Tunsil?
Well, just because it was like he was basically a top 3 player, you know what I mean? But the Dolphins was like, yo, let's link this today so we can get my man Sanaa.
Are you saying that they linked the picture?
I think somebody leaked it, bro. I gotta get my God in me. I gotta get my God in me, dog. Like I'll do whatever. You think they're just you think someone random that had no ties in this draft just dropped that on draft day? You know what I mean? I can't. And the only reason
You got to remember, like, the state of the world at that point. Like, we were so taboo. So I think it was just like, I think he was just being a fuckboy. Wasn't he on like Snapchat or some shit?
No, but what I'm saying is for that, like, if a college kid had that footage, we would have definitely saw it before the draft because he wouldn't have been able to keep that in. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it did leak kind of weird.
It leaked the day of the draft, dog.
Yeah, it was kind of sketchy for real. It was kind of sketchy. All right, so with the Bears. Now I know with the Bears, they definitely want Genty. I think Tyler Warren is definitely an option. Definitely an option. But for some reason, I just think due to what Ben Johnson was used to with the Lions and how they operated, I do think they want a committee. I do think this guy's worth it. And I don't think he's being talked about enough. Like, I think they're pretty fine with O-line. I think they could get somebody in the second to address that need. They could use somebody opposite of Sweat. So Sweat isn't doing all the work there. I could see that as well. I could see Membu here, but I'm going to go on Omarion Hampton. I think he's worth this pick, and I think this will be a Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson type situation.
Well, he got rid of Sweat.
What do you mean?
Ben Johnson. Remember Ben Johnson? That was one of his first years. DeAndre Sweat was on the Lions as a rookie, and they let him go.
No, I'm talking about Montez Sweat.
Oh, I'm talking about Swift. They got rid of Swift.
Yeah,
Ben Johnson got rid of Swift. My bad.
Okay. Names are similar. I was like, what are we talking about
Swift.
right now?
My bad. Because you talk about running back, and I'm thinking Swift, like, because you said they have Sweat. I'm thinking, all right, yeah, right. But yeah, he got rid of DeAndre Swift before, so he's probably ready to replace his ass again.
Nah, for real. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, he was on the Lions. And they David Montgomery was an upgrade, and then boom, now you have Sonic and Knuckles going.
Yeah. Here I'm going with one of the some people are saying one of the best offensive linemen in the draft, Kelvin Banks Jr.
Oh, no Membu?
Yeah, even over Membu. And I think Membu's actually really, really good. So
I'm seeing people down on Kelvin Banks, to be honest.
Yeah, well, again, because it's like if you watch his film and you see somebody who's breaking down, and now all of a sudden, again, off of this week, he's kind of starting to move up a little. And the reason I'm kind of like him for San Francisco, because again, he's big enough to be on the inside of the line, but then also, if he has to kick out to tackle, he's capable to do it. And he's more of a like a physical specimen. He's a little bit heavier than Membu is, who I think can only play. Like, I think Membu is going to be a good tackle in the NFL, left or right. But I think Banks, you can kind of use him as a swing tackle or kick him inside, and he'll still be serviceable for you.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do. I would love Walter Nolan for him here, but it was a mass exodus of how we see the Niners. I mean, Greenlaw, Funga, Debo. Yeah. So there's a lot of people for them to replace. I could definitely see them going O-line here, especially Trent Williams pushing 40.
Yeah, yeah. So
crazy how he's still playing at this level.
Yeah, I just think he's a good fit for that San Francisco offense.
For sure. All right, man. So your Cowboys. I think this is a great spot for them. Tap Falls, we're going to go with him. If he wasn't here, I'd probably go Golden. But I think with how your offense is set up, your boy, your new coach Schottenheimer. Dak's best year, he was calling the shots. So I think we need to get back to what y'all do best, playing good defense, airing that ball out. I think it's just a good pairing with CD Lamb.
Yeah, I mean, this is just one of those situations where it's kind of, you know, if Ted falls to 12, that's because the other teams messed up. You know what I mean? That's because shout out to the Panthers, shout out to the Saints. You know, so if we get him, I'd be happy. Golden, I'm cool with Golden too, but yeah, Ted McMillan, I don't think he should drop to 12. So if that's what we end up with, I'm a good day.
If it were up to me and I had the Panthers, I would have just took him there with the Panthers and keep Bryce Young
My boy
elevating.
That's what my boy wants. My boy wants Ted. He doesn't want them to go D line, but he feels that's what they're going to do.
And the thing is, I feel like the Panthers are in a perfect spot to take Tet and then take like one of the edge rushers at the top of the second. Like I feel like it's perfect that way. But there are some good big body receivers that'll be there in the second. So we'll see. We'll see how shit shakes out. Yeah. Dolphins though.
So for 13, I think Dolphins, they really do need a lot. But you know, if I'm them, you're not going to be able to fix everything with this pick. So I'd probably go with Armand Mambu, slot him in there at right tackle. Doesn't have to move. He's protecting Tua's blind side, and they upgrade on the offensive line. So I just start there.
Elite Colts are cheering. They're throwing a damn parade. They thought they're all right, whatever, Tyler Warren, they're not going to be there. We'll go with Loveland. Here they're going Tyler Warren, complete that offense in terms of the weaponry for Anthony Richardson. See what you got.
I just don't see it, man. I like him, but it's just he's 24 years old already.
So?
Bro, so 6 years in the league, he already 30.
And then it's time to draft another one, I guess.
Hopefully you got to enjoy this one. You know, so I mean, again, I don't.
Winnable division. So I get it from the logic of, hey, this is kind of the window right now to, first they got to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they got a lot of issues. I mean, it might be super winnable, I believe you, but like they got a lot of issues. They have a lot of issues.
Agreed.
I mean, the quarterback being one of them. So you know what I mean.
That's why you got to help them out.
Some these guys, but yeah, right here we got Falcons. Again, I think they're another team where they're so desperate for a pass rush, and they're known at this point from overcorrecting. So I think right here is where we see Mikael Williams go, edge rusher, Georgia. But I actually like Donovan.
Raku.
I actually like his tape better, but I think they're going to like Mikael, solid edge, good size, can defend the run, and then hopefully, potential to give you something in the pass rushing too. So.
Yeah, they better hit on that because they only have 5 picks in the draft. They don't have a third. They don't have a fifth. So
I can see them being one of the teams that's willing to trade in the second. They'll try to do a trade in the second so that they can possibly get some capital later in the draft.
Yeah, I can see that. With the Cardinals, I just love this pick right here. I feel like I've mocked this before. But I'm gonna go Walter Nolan. I think outside of Mason Graham, these top 4 D tackles are very underrated. I think this is the best pass rushing D tackle in the draft here with Walter Nolan. And like we've talked about, the Cardinals defense was scrappy, overperformed compared to the talent on paper. and I think this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, and one, I mean, I think Walter Nolan will be a better football player in the NFL than he was in college. But right here for the Bengals, you know, I honestly, I think they go Jahad Campbell here, and they kind of wish there was a fall for one of these tackles, but I think they just end up getting Jahad Campbell, and he can play linebacker for him and generate a little bit of a pass rush. Yeah,
That's interesting. That's interesting. But yeah, I mean, shit. You just make sure you go defense, man. Make sure you go defense, and maybe y'all won't start 2-6 again. Or whatever they were. Um, with the Seahawks, for them, I'm going to go. I'm going to go Josh Simmons. I'm gonna go Josh Simmons here. Um, it seems like the injury from this past season not really an issue. Doesn't really have a lengthy injury history outside of that. Wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the better tackles in this draft. And you got to protect Sam Darnold. You're retooling. You got to retool that offensive line as well. And Ohio State kid, man.
yeah. I mean, the guys that kind of scout for the Cowboys Twitter, and they do all the hard work, so we know what the hell's going on in our draft. They actually been saying that Josh Simmons is the left tackle one in this draft. They're like, yo, like he's the left tackle one in this draft. He is the best left tackle. So if he's able to fall this far due to the injury, I think Seattle will have that position solidified for a few years to come. Here at 19, I think this is where Will Johnson's stops. I still don't trust the player, but I mean, I think the Bucks are going to take the risk.
Yeah, they need to address that secondary. I mean, their offense was lights out, so this has to be defense. If not the secondary, I can see Jahad Campbell going there as well, potentially, if he doesn't go earlier, like to the Bengals as you did. But for the Broncos, seems like they're really high on Loveland. Yeah, they just got Evan Ingram, but they're high on this guy. I think that he could do a lot in this offense. They do need some more weapons in general. I think they would have liked Amari and Hampton here, but I think this is a Loveland spot or a Luther Burden spot. Personally, I'm gonna go Loveland this time.
So they think that Sean Payton might be the team that trades up for a running back.
Oh, really? I heard they might want to trade up for a tight end.
Yeah, but they were like, if anybody's going to trade, it'll be Sean Payton. He'd be the one that would trade. So, and then right here on the clock, we got Pittsburgh. I know apparently there's some rumblings that they kind of like Shador, or some people cool with him, some people hate him. Again, when it comes to Shador, it's just hilarious. There'll be cats with Mason Rudolph as their profile picture, talking about how they don't want or need Shador. He can't throw, he sucks, and he's too much of a circus. But it's like, so you was cool with Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett, but you don't want to give Shador a shot because he's a circus. All right. Okay.
Now with the Steelers, I wonder if they're picking based off, like, they're assuming Aaron Rodgers isn't retiring, he's not going to the Vikings. They want to appease him by either making the defense better or continuing to improve the offense in some way. I don't know. They're kind of in a crazy position. Like,
I think
if I was
right
a Steelers
now,
fan, I'd be very irked.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But I think right now, the Steelers organization, I think they're moving like they might be waiting on Aaron Rodgers, but we're not drafting like we're waiting on Aaron Rodgers. We're waiting on Aaron Rodgers today. We'll wait on him even tomorrow, probably. But by the day of the draft, we not moving. Like, we're not letting Aaron Rodgers hold us
Dictate.
up or stop our flow. So I think, you know, honestly, I can see them going running back too. I can see them picking up like Travion Henderson here.
I can see them. I mean, they've done it before. Najee was picking the 20s.
We'll give him Krayshawn. We'll give him Jenkins. We'll give him Judkins. We'll give him that.
Judkins.
Yeah, we'll give him Judkins. But like I could see them getting a running back.
Yeah, I mean, they just lost Najee, and
They don't have a second round pick either. And I think that's a big reason why they would go running back, because they're like, we're not going to function without a running back.
yeah, I mean, you're not going to function without a quarterback too. But it's also like, do you want to go with a quarterback that you're not in love with? You don't have a second round pick, because of the DK trade. So yeah, I think running back is pretty realistic. You get your pick of them here, but I don't know. If I'm the Steelers and I know I don't have a second, I'd probably just make sure I did my homework and see who's going to be there in the third potentially. But I think there's going to be a run on running backs in the second anyway. We'll see. Now with the Chargers, now look, this is what we think is going to happen, Mock. But at this point, man, when you have these choices here at receiver, and you see what Ladd McConkey did on his own, I think they're going to be compelled to take Matthew Golden here if he's here. I think you just got to, and they hit on a lot of picks last year. So if you feel like you could still do your thing in the later rounds and whatnot, why not go with this high upside receiving option?
Yeah. So here, Green Bay, I think they're going to go D-line, and I think they're going to go with, I want to say Derek Harmon. Yeah, Derek Harmon right
Derek Harmon here.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's going to want him to go wide receiver, and they're going to go with the fattest D lineman they can find with a little bit of pass rush push.
Yeah. I think that's a good fit for him, and it's a very Packers pick.
Right.
Now with the Vikings, they have 4 picks total. They don't have a second, so they're a big trade back candidate. Now, obviously, the team's going to have to trade up. And this is a potential trade-up spot if you're the Giants and you're like, yo, this is ideal if we could get one of these blue-chip guys and trade up. But no trades for the Vikings here. You just lost Cam Bynum. You just Harrison Smith isn't getting any younger. He's in his mid-30s. Then this is where Malachi Starks goes.
I think so too. Again, talented player, sort of like what was his name? I was about to say Bruce Bowen, but it's not. Brian Branch. Brian Branch from Detroit, from the Detroit Lions. He ran a 4.6, so because he ran a 4.6 and he played in the slot, he fell to the second round. Obviously, that was a steal for the Detroit Lions. I think Malachi Stark's going to be able to do the same thing in NFL too. For the Texans, though, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with Josh Connerly Jr. They traded away 3 of their offensive linemen and their left tackle. I think they know something that we don't, and I think they know that their guy's going to be there at 25.
Yeah, for sure. They have to have like who they want in mind.
Yeah.
They have to be pretty confident in that.
Right. There had to have been a few of them there that they're like, oh, yo, one of the linemen are going to be here at 25. We're not going to be wiped out. So, yeah, I think it's Josh Connerly.
All right, with the Rams, now a lot of options that I like for them are off the board. In terms of defense, anyway. So for them, I know their center is a guy that they got in the 6th round last year. I think his name is like Bo Limmer. or something like that. I think that Gray Zabel could play center, but you could also move him around to one of the guard spots. And I just think it's a solid fit for him. You address the receiver position. Really wanted to get rid of Cooper Kupp, brought in Devontae Adams. You got to protect Matt Stafford.
And the Ravens do it again, man. They just do it again. Tyler Booker here at guard, starting guard for Alabama. I think he just goes ahead and insert him in day one, set it and forget it.
All right, with the Lions, I think with the Lions, they want to address the pass rush. Unfortunately, what happened with Aiden Hutchinson last year is that Darius Smith was a Band-Aid, no longer on the team. I think this is where they go Donovan Ezraku.
All right. Now here's where I'm gonna switch it up a little bit because I do actually believe, and I'm going to probably place a bet on him to get drafted in the first round. I believe linebacker Caleb Schlesinger out of UCLA will be the pick for the Washington Redskins or Washington Commanders. Excuse me.
Really? What's
Yeah.
your
So
location at all?
he's a stud. The only thing is he only played this year. This is his first season playing, and basically he averaged 11 tackles a game. He's the last 3 down all around linebacker in the entire draft that isn't 27 years old. So like, you know what I mean? And it's just like it's due to the value. Like we got a Mario Hampton going higher than some people expect him to go, but the reason he might go high is because he's the last 3 down all around back in this draft. There's a bunch of good backs in the draft, but he's the last 3 down all around back in there outside of Genty. And I think the same goes with Carson Schlesinger, where one of these teams that are desperate for an inside linebacker is going to overdraft him because they know he's the only one basically. And he averaged 11 tackles a game last year and was just all around the ball, could read defenses, playing zone, dropping back into coverage. He's going to go higher than expected, I think, the first round, but I know for a fact that Washington is high on him and they had him in for a visit, and there's no way that they had him in for a visit because they thought they could get him in the second round.
Yeah, I think we brought him in for a visit too. And I mean, it makes sense. They just were in the NFC Championship and, we're getting gashed by Saquon. Besides his tackling ability, he's great at stopping the run. And I think it's him, Jod Campbell, and there's kind of a drop-off there when it comes to off-ball linebacker. When it comes to Jalen Walker, I think his off-ball linebacking instincts and just all-around game needs a little bit of work. I think he's more of an edge rusher, so makes sense to me.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, you're getting Jalen Walker because it's like, okay, we're depending on that blitzing, that edge rushing. Like that's part of the reason why we're selecting. You're selecting this guy like, all right, 3 down in the middle of our field running our defense. It's just kind of there's only 2 of them in the draft that I've seen or I've read on. So I just think he's going to go higher than people expect him, and I'm going to place a bet on him.
on him going in the first round, just in general.
Yeah,
I think that's a good value bet. It's a good value bet. With the Bills, I think this guy personally goes a lot earlier. It's just how it plays out. We're going back and forth on picks. I was thinking about going with him to the Lions, but I think the Bills would be happy to have Shamar Stewart. It's kind of similar to their Greg Rousseau pick. It's another high upside guy that you're hoping to develop and get the most out of. And I think they'd love to have him here. Seems like he's going to go way higher, though.
Yeah. I mean, again, Shamar Stewart, one of those players that Dane Brugler has rated way higher than even PFF does. Let me see where he's at. Yeah, he's ranked 9th. Mike Green's ranked 10th. So like he's again just one of those players where the NFL, they love his potential, so he's going to be drafted higher than we probably expect to hear his name. So don't be surprised. But yeah, right here we're going with the Going with the Chiefs. They lost a tough one, but I think what they're going to do is draft offensive line. Tyler Booker got taken from them, so I think right here they do go with Arnett Orsery out of Minnesota, just based off the size, 6'6", like 360 pounds. I think the Patriots are sick because they wanted him to fall to them, but yeah, I think this is where he goes right here.
I feel like they'd probably go Donovan Jackson personally, just to replace Joe Tooney, but could easily happen. With the Eagles here, I think they're not against guys with some character concerns. I mean, they were willing to take Jalen Carter. This guy doesn't have that legal concern. This is more about attitude, personality. Feel like they could bring this guy in and kind of have him adopt this Eagles culture and kind of overwhelm whatever those concerns are. I'm having going James Pierce here with the 32nd pick, and shit might be a steal for him.
Yeah, hopefully him and Jalen Carter kamikaze the locker room, though. You know what I mean? Fingers crossed.
Nah, for real. Fingers crossed on that, for real. Now we're at the top of the second. Cleveland Browns on the clock after getting the unicorn and Travis Hunter. What you got for him?
Now, this is where it gets weird. This is where it gets weird for me because I just don't see this being a scenario. But they do need a quarterback. And do we have all the quarterbacks available except for one?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think, hypothetically speaking, in our draft, they select Shedeur Sanders. But I think in real life, Shedeur ends up in the first round. And if it's not Shedeur, I brought this up to you. Do you not? You said you don't like Jalen Milroe, right?
I don't like him in the second. I like him in like the third.
Okay, because I just feel like that.
Bro, he can't throw the ball, bro. I know you keep bringing up Josh Allen, but Josh Allen went 10th, bro. He went 10th.
I mean, he was projected to go higher than 10th before the season started.
Who, Jalen Milroe?
Yeah.
You gotta send me them articles, bro.
Bro, yeah. That's easy.
You gotta send me that. But Shedeur going to the Browns. Giants are sick to their stomach. I'd be devastated, but we're not doing trades. I think they find a way to trade up here. I mean, we got a conditional third for Xavier McKinney, so we do have a little bit of capital. The Browns, they do have 2/3, so they also could trade up if this was a scenario. But with the Giants, I'm going to have them actually see. Now, if I'm the Giants, it's like if you weren't going to take a quarterback with that third pick, don't at all. I'm going to have them actually go Luther Burden here.
See, I think y'all are going to get Jalen Milroe. I don't know. I think that because, and also he was on who's your boy? Oh, no. Jalen Milroe was on Hey K Adams. And apparently Malik Neighbors and Jalen Milroe are homies.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah. So yeah, he was kind of smart. Like, he gonna be there. He gonna be at the draft. He's invited. Y'all picking real early. I think he goes to y'all or to Cleveland realistically. But yeah, bro. I don't know. I don't not hate we just saw Jalen Hurts win in the playoffs. And I think Jalen Milroe can at least run the ball. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? So it's like
don't get me wrong. Like Daboll, he's supposed to be the quarterback whisperer, and and all that.
And he
But
has like
it's
a cannon
also
arm too. So it's like I get it. He can't aim anything, but it's like he got the two traits that you would like for your quarterback to have the most. You know, a cannon arm and feet.
it's kind of funny because with Shador, they're all knocking him for it's like, yo, how are you Deion Sanders' son? And like you can't even get busy with the legs like that. Like you're not that athletic. It's like, damn, weren't y'all just calling Lamar Jackson a running back? The fact that he has a elite accuracy, ball placement, and he's trying to rely on football IQ. Like now
Well,
y'all want somebody.
they don't like after what happened with Caleb Love. They don't like anybody that holds the
Caleb
ball.
Williams.
Oh yeah, Caleb Williams. Yeah, they don't like anybody who holds the ball too long. And he holds the ball too long. You know what I mean? He had like 94 sacks or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, he had a crazy amount of sacks. But I mean, they didn't have a run game. The O-line was trash. But
yeah, so Tennessee, I think Tennessee actually ends up trading out of this pick, but for the sake of the draft, I got Tennessee going with Emeka Egbuka here, just solid on solid, someone that he can grow with, and yeah, they're gonna bake together.
You said they're gonna what? Bake?
They're gonna bake, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Moon,
yeah. That'd be smooth. I would like if they scooped up Martinez to pair back with Cam Ward later in the draft. That'd be cute. But with the Jags, a lot of people had them going Mason Graham. Let's go get his teammate Kenneth Grant's here. Unlikely he's going to be in the second round, but one of these D tackles have to fall, right?
Right. Not everybody can get drafted in the top 32 picks, so that's like the one good thing about the draft. Right here, we took Mason Graham, right? That's who we took with the Raiders. I was the Raiders. Was that the Raiders?
No, I was the Raiders. I took Jahdae Barron.
Jahdae Barron. Okay, yeah. So we already took care of cornerback here. I think we're gonna just go ahead and we're just gonna get Nick Scorton. Scorton. Yeah, just one of the AMM D linemen. Good value here. Again, the potential is there for him to be special. You just got to make it work.
Now, here with the Patriots, I'm going to have them go ahead and get Jaden Higgins. Yeah. They have Pop Douglas there in the slot. Think a nice big body receiver, high upside. You address tackle with Will Campbell. You need to get some more weapons.
Right. And Butte on the outside wasn't that bad either. So that'd be solid for them. If Jaden Higgins can, do his thing on the outside, definitely I can see them cooking. And then right here, so we already addressed running back. I think we go. I don't know about TJ. Actually, you know what? Tyleik Williams is still on the board. He's one of the best values at this point. Probably going to be one of the best run stopping D linemen in the draft, and also will be able to generate a little bit of a pass rush for his size. I think this right here is a good place for him to go ahead and get drafted.
Okay, with the Saints, you had the Saints, right? Who did you get with the Saints? You got Mike Green. I think with them, they kind of just have to go best player available, like throughout the entire draft. I kind of want to go receiver. Running back's also an option, but what if they went Jalen Milroe?
Yeah, I could see that. Somebody's going Jalen Milroe. You know what I'm saying? Like within that top 45 picks.
Yeah. So with them, no pressure to start them. Got Derek Carr there. I don't know what kind of drama is going on with him, but let's say something happens with that. You still have Spencer Rattler, who got some burn last year, and you don't have to rush Milroe out there. And Kellen Moore gets his guy to Kraft, who can see if his offensive prowess is real.
Yeah, and I think that'll be a good pick. Somebody likes Jalen Milroe a lot. I can't wait to see who it is. So here, I know it's showing safety as a need, but I think they need cornerback. They just extended Kyler Gordon, and they also have Jalen Johnson. But everybody knows about the blunder that happened with Stevenson last year, where it cost them a football game. Some could say cost them the season and the
Season.
coach, yeah, the season and the coach's job. Uh, right here, Maxwell Harrison, 6 foot cornerback, about runs a 4.3. I just think this is a nice fit for them. Go ahead and have him play on the other outside corner spot. Shut some shit down.
All right, with the Jets, already addressed D line, got Mason Graham. I think they go on the opposite side of the trenches, and this is where Donovan Jackson lands.
Donovan Jackson. All right, yep, we're back to good old San Francisco, stealing everything that the Cowboys want right before they get a chance to draft. Go ahead and draft Trey Amos because this is exactly who they're going to pick up. You'd be pissed.
It's funny. that's funny because that's who I was going to get for y'all here. But assuming this is the situation, I'm thinking Siobhan Revel would be smooth here. But who did I get for y'all? Golden. I'm thinking running back could go here, but y'all didn't even go running back last year this early. I think y'all go running back in the third. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my boy here from ECU.
Yeah, this is he is the Cowboys second round special. He tore his ACL 1 year, and I think he got in a bad car accident another year. On film, he's a first round cornerback. But since he tore his ACL late in the season, wasn't able to go through the draft process. Not that much film on him. However, the talent's there, and they said the knee's going to be fine. So, Dallas Cowboys special. Come on up, Siobhan Rovell. And then for me, damn, I wish you did. Wait, you took the tight end, right?
Who, Loveland?
Well,
I took to the Colts. I think
Yeah.
I
thought
think Tyler Warren went there. Yeah.
Damn. This would have been a perfect time for Mason Graham to come off the board.
Mason Graham.
Yes, Mason Graham is going to be a dog in the league, bro. Tight end. He runs a 4.6. He's fast. He's big. Not Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor.
Bro, you
Mason
tripping me up.
But yeah, because I'm used to Mason Taylor. But I can't draft him here. Obviously, I think they go ahead and they attack the defensive line. I think they would probably pick TJ Sanders over. Actually, no. Give him Landon Jackson. I didn't know we still had him on the board. Damn, this D-line class is so deep, bro. This shit is crazy.
It is super deep, which is why I think the Panthers should kind of do what we suggested. I just feel like they're not.
Right.
I just feel like they're not.
But they might. My boy was talking like, yo, look at his roster, bro. There is no wide receiver one on here. Like, stop with the bullshit. And that's where Drake London got drafted at 8. Like, no one cares about Jay London's speed. He didn't run the 40 either.
All right. So for the Falcons, you addressed edge, but I still think it'd be good value to just double down. Kind of similar to what the Eagles did last year. They went back-to-back corner just because you took a position. If it's still something you need to take care of, go ahead and do that. And they go Darius Alexander here.
Yeah, and the value was also there with him with that one too. Cooper Eugene should not have fell to the second round. So crazy. But yeah, Cardinals back on the board. You drafted them you drafted D lineman, right? Is that where you had who'd you have go there? Walter Nolan?
Yeah, Walter Nolan.
There you go. Yeah, so I think with them, it's O-line's kind of they did their thing with the O-line. I think this is where the last cornerback ends up going. Azariah,
Azaria,
yeah,
yeah, Azaria, Azara.
6 foot, yeah, 6 foot corner. I think that works for them. I think Azarius Thomas. His brother actually plays for the Cowboys. Wanye.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, 6'2", 196 pounds. Set him on the outside and forget it.
Think with the Dolphins. I think this guy goes a lot early. I wouldn't be surprised if he went in the first, but I'm gonna go Nick and Emanwarie here for the Dolphins. They're kind of in dismay. Tyreek Hill every 2 weeks is throwing these signals out. Now Jalen Ramsey seems like he might be out of there, and then we scooped up Javon Holland from him. So
Yeah, I mean, right now they're just like I said, one pick can't fix them right now. So they just gotta stack it piece by piece and see where they look like next year because they're close to disarray. I don't want to call it disarray, but it's pretty close. All right, where are we at? We got the Bengals. Bengals, I think they go ahead and they get this guy. This guy's a sleeper. I don't really, but I guess I get it. He's 24. But Tate Rutledge out of Georgia, center. He's like the best center in the class, which I feel like he might go a little earlier, but yeah.
Okay, with the Seahawks, as you can see, they have 2 mid-round second picks here. Went tackle for them in the first round. I think this is a good spot for them to address their pass rush. And where's he at? Did I skip him? Oh, here he goes. Braden Swinson. Have them go Braden Swinson, and then you'll see what I do for them with their next pick.
Yeah, and right here again, I just think, with Denver, their D line was pretty solid. Offensive line was actually one of the better offensive lines in the NFL last year. I think they were number one in rushing rating, but they what was it? That was with when they didn't play Javonte Williams. Like he was just like the worst back ever in the NFL. But center, I want to say his name is Jared Wilson out of Georgia. I think that's who they're going to select. Slot him in at center, and then just have him kill shit.
Okay, so with the Seahawks, I like what I think they have a plan with their offense when it comes to what they're doing with Sam Darnold. They brought in Cooper Kupp, so they have 2 slot guys that they want to put to work, and then they have 2 high-powered backs with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Yeah. So I still think they need another receiver. I'm gonna have them go Jack Beck here.
Yeah, they need an outside guy. They got 2 inside guys.
Yeah. But I think they have a plan with that. I think they have a plan with that on some old school Shanahan type deal.
So right here, I think this is where it stops for Demetrius Knight. Todd Bowles will love a blitzing linebacker like him. Doesn't care that he's like 26 years old. So I think this is where Demetrius Knight comes off the board. He definitely would have been drafted higher if he was a little bit younger, but I just think, he developed a little later, and he was a dominant hitter. But we'll see.
Okay, with the Packers, they love their second round receivers, so I'm gonna have them go Trey Harris here. Thinking Jalen Nolan, but they have enough slotty type guys.
This is the Jim Harbaugh special right here, baby. And I'm gonna be right there, right after the draft to pick him up in best ball. Go ahead, get my boy Mason Taylor. I think they're projected to take him in the 3rd round. but I think because of how good he is and his size, I think he goes much higher. All around tight end. All around tight end, going to be security blanket on third down for Justin Herbert. This is the Jim Harbaugh special right here.
All right. With the Bills, I know you said there's the last corner, but I think Benjamin Morrison's pretty underrated. They got a needed corner, so I'm gonna have them take him.
Yeah. So they went wide receiver. I mean, they went edge in the first round because they really feel like they needed some juice on defense. And I think now they just go ahead and they get Alec Anamore, who probably would have been drafted higher had he had a better quarterback. And I think him and Bryce Young kind of get it cooking. And he can play on the outside. He can play on the outside. So this could be a potential wide receiver one for him if Xavier Legette doesn't work out, which he probably won't.
Why you say that, bro?
I mean, I just can't get over that drop pass he had when they were playing Philly. Like wide open, cooked right in the bucket. You just dropped it. You're not built this.
Well, if it doesn't work out for him, he'd be a fucking amazing streamer, content creator. The guy's a character.
He got to stream on a fishing boat though.
Yeah, or on a ranch somewhere, some type of farm, swamp, something. For the Texans, I think they double like you said, bro. They got rid of so many linemen, and they gotta keep padding that, bro. So I think they go Jonah here from Arizona. Think he goes a lot higher than people expect him to. And the Texans just kind of double dip. I think they probably have a couple guys they're super high on that they feel like could repair the offensive line in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean, unless your offensive line coach is just he just knows what he's doing. So I mean, what some of these guys do. Now we got Baltimore back here, and I can see, their defense really changed when they were able to take Justin Hamilton out of that Roman position. I mean, out of the slot position and put him back at safety. So I wonder if they want to keep him there, but I don't know if Xavier Watts is going to be good enough to play in the slot. Let me see. I think who do I select with them? I select the Tyler Booker, right?
Yes, Tyler Booker.
Yeah, I think here we're going to go. Yeah, JT Tamalalu. JT Tamalalu. Yeah, and I just think this is the perfect guy. Ohio State to Baltimore. Probably going to start for 8 years. We're never going to notice him. He's always going to have 6 to 8 sacks.
Damn, really? You don't think? I think Xavier Watts would have been perfect there. I think that.
No, I think they need a nickel cornerback and not another safety, because I think Kyle Hamilton is just so good at safety. It's like we're better off just finding a nickel draft and letting him better in the same position that Kyle Hamilton already plays.
No, I got you. Now for the Lions, let's see. I went. Who did I go for the Lions? I went with the edge rusher. I went Shamar Stewart.
Is that what you went, Shamar?
Yeah, I went Shamar Stewart. So for them, I feel like I think this guy, he's getting a lot of buzz right now, and it's clearly not like a huge need, even though PFF has it there. But I think, you could use some depth at position. Look at the Texans, where they try to pad receiver with Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell, and now they have to go back to that. Well, I could have went this guy for him, but I really like.
You got 3. That's the thing about receiver. You playing with 3 of them almost at all times, so it's never not a bad idea to go receiver.
And then with the Lions, that's really how they play. Kyle Williams, super high upside, and he's getting a lot of buzz. So I can see him going in the second round here.
And I would make the argument that there was times last year when you watched Detroit that you were like, yo, they really do kind of need a third wide receiver, which is crazy to say, but it's like it's just weird to see like Jameson Williams balling and Amron killing it, and then it's just like Josh Reynolds. Like what? Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? It's just kind of like what the whatever. We lose. Who was the other kid? Remember that one game? It was like Tim Patrick Jr.
Oh yeah, Tim Patrick
went crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it would probably be nice for them to go ahead and just solidify that wide receiver 3 position and just get the bacon. Here, as much as I feel like they've showed a bunch of interest in offensive weapons, I think Washington gets another good player to play cornerback for him in Noah Williams. 6 foot 199 out of Cal. God damn it. I'm so fucking tired of this shit. But yeah, I mean, with those 2 picks, you get the solidified linebacker and also having another outside corner for your team after having to get rid of one of the old first round picks from the old regime and bringing in Marshawn Lattimore. I think that would give them a nice little tandem with Central still there, man, in the slot. And they kind of revamped. They kind of did their thing, picking up Debo and also the left tackle Jeremy Tunsil. And then, so I think they're not really concerned about the offensive firepower as much. I think they probably already feel like they took care of that.
Hey, Commies fans, I would have went running back for you guys. So don't
really
don't come at me.
I think they like Austin Eckler's old ass.
I mean, I think
Brian Thomas, it worked. It worked.
It worked, but I think they could use an upgrade at the position still.
I think that's where the draft is deep, where a team like Washington will still get an upgrade at the position because they can get an upgrade in the 5th round.
Well, they don't have a 3rd and they don't have a 5th.
So they have a 4th. Oh, they have a 4th round. They don't have the 5th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they only have 5 picks.
They traded the 5th for Debo. Okay, but no, I'm saying like with the 4th round, I thought it was a 4th round pick for Debo, but with the 4th round pick, they can probably get the one type of running back that they need on their team, whether it be like a speed guy, you know what I mean, like a little fast ass scat back, where they already have the solid security blanket in Austin Eckler, the bruiser and Brian Thomas, but it's like we need that guy that like if he takes it from Jalen, he's gone. See ya. Breaking. And I think they would be able to get a back for how their team plays offense.
Okay. All right. So for the Bills, this guy dropped a decent bit, I feel, and they could use an upgrade at this position. DeMar Hamlin, who's been serviceable. You have Taylor Rapp still there, but at the beginning of last season or at the end of last season, they got rid of a lot of guys in the secondary. I'm having them go Xavier Watts here and kind of complete that out. All defense. So for them, it was Donovan Ezeraku, Benjamin Morrison, and then Xavier Watts. So really improved that defense. I think they're pretty set offensively.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I think they would love to have a nice. I mean, obviously, they still got the rookie Coleman from last year, but I think they would like to have a nice. How do you feel about Dalton Kincaid? Because I'm kind of good off, buddy. Like I'm sure he's okay. I'm sure he'll be all right. But he's, I guess, the reason why.
Because he dropped the ball, bro.
No, I mean all season long. You had him in fantasy, didn't you? I mean, I know he didn't really produce. Like he was supposed to come in as like the next.
But you could say the same thing about Sam Laporta. Like he didn't like have that second year we expected him to.
Right, but I think he also played a little bit better because again, Sam Laporta is still an inline tight end that will block and do some things for you that necessarily doesn't come up in the stats in this box score. Whereas as Dalton Kincaid, you're supposed to be our slot security blanket, and I feel like Khalil took over that role. You know what I mean? Like I feel like those targets went to Khalil. That's why I'm asking, like, what do you think he's still good over there, or like they got to play?
Yeah. I mean, and they still got Dawson Knox, who has a lot of chemistry with Josh Allen. You know,
Right.
Keon
So I
Coleman.
think
If he
they're
could take
expanding
another
the system.
step up, you have James Cook, Ray Davis, you have Keon Coleman. Let's say he takes another step up. Khalil Shakir just paid him. And then the way this board is kind of playing out, I feel like they could get some value a receiver in the
Like
fourth.
an outside
Or,
one, right? Like you would probably get an outside receiver because you got Khalil in the slot, kind of.
yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. I feel like unintentionally, it might be curtains for that boy. He could put on this year. He could put on. But nonetheless, let's get to Super Bowl runner up Chiefs. I think they go TJ Sanders here. This is where his run stops. I mean, they got Chris Jones, but to have somebody to come in there on the other side, play, stop the run, help rush the passer, this is a good pick.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna go TJ Sanders there. With the Eagles, TJ Sanders just went, but I think they could still address this position. And I think this is where Alfred Collins goes. Just lost Milton Williams. Um, you just lost Josh Sweat, who'd I take with the 32nd pick for them? I took James Pierce Jr. So Eagles aren't against double dipping. They're double dipping technically two different positions, but still on the D line. We're gonna have them go Alfred Collins. And yeah, I mean, I think what stands out to me in that second round, oh, they're not going to show it right here. What stands out to me is that not as many running backs, not a lot of running backs went. So in that whole 2 rounds, we just had Genty, we had Judkins, we had Amarian Hampton. I don't think we had a single back go in that second, which when I was looking at the teams, a lot of the teams, like for example, the Bears, if they got running back in the first, they had 2 second-round picks. The Bills had 2 second-round picks. The Seahawks had 2 second-round picks. So those are teams. If the first round were to go the way this is going, I don't see them really going that direction. Then you have the Chiefs.
I feel like I could see the Bears not picking a running back only because they feel like a Caleb Johnson might be there in the second round with one of their with the first second round pick. You know what I'm saying? So it's like maybe we good with Caleb Johnson and like or if they again one of those teams that you said that has 2 second round picks, they're sitting on gold mine. I think they're going to end up if they want more picks. I think someone's going to use them to try to trade back up or trade, you know what I mean, to get back into the draft, whether it be for one of those quarterbacks or like you're saying to jump a Dallas or to jump whatever running back hungry team there might be for a running back. The last ones, because I mean, if you think about it, I feel like after the 2 Ohio State running backs, after Genty, Amarion, and Caleb Johnson, who else is it? I mean, Dylan Simpson, would he be the 6th running back? I feel after them, it's a huge stretch of players. I mean, they're still good, but like I don't know if they're the same type of backs that you trotting out there the majority of the carries.
Yeah, I mean, there's not like you said. After that, there's not a bunch of those. There's still RJ Harvey. Right. There's Scatterboo that would fit certain systems. I mean, and that's the thing about these running backs. Like, it really depends on what your philosophy is and what your current running back room is currently looking like.
Right. And again, like, it's going to be interesting because it's going to be one of those things where it's like, do we want to eat getting a running back right now, or do we want to hold off? And like, will we be able to start the running back run? Will we be on the back end of it, or are we in the middle of that motherfucker? We would love to all be in the middle of it, but that that's not going to happen. Somebody going to be asked out. Last year it was Dallas.
Well, y'all didn't even do a dart throw. That shit was
We
crazy.
didn't even Well, because our 4th round pick was the damn quarterback, and we did the same thing. Our 4th round pick is Mingo, so like,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why y'all not valuing that for it.
bugging, niggas, bugging.
Crazy. Trying to outsmart the room. That's what happens when you try to outsmart the room, man.
Nah, I just go back to he didn't believe that Zeke was as raw as he was. Like I like, they just in their head they were like, oh well, like
we got our shit set. We got Rico Dowdle and we got Zeke.
Right, and the Rico Dowdle part they got, like the Rico Dowdle part they did get right. Like they got that right, but they didn't. They got the Zeke part all wrong, so wrong. So here's what it is.
Yeah, it's an interesting mock right here. Genty, definitely I could see if the top 3 goes out and shapes out how everyone thinks it is, which is some variation of Cam Ward number 1 and then either Hunter 2 or 3, then I think the Patriots and the Jags are in play. I think a trade up is in play for Genty. And then it's like, damn, what do the Raiders do? And that kind of dictates a lot with the draft.
Do you think y'all want to trade back? I see people thinking that they're going to try to trade, like San Francisco might try to trade with you guys, or maybe maybe like the Panthers or one of like.
I would be a fan of us trading back no farther than 8 and getting Shador there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, right. But that's my thing. It's like, yo, are they really going to get cute with the quarterback?
That's what I'm saying, and that's why, to me, like the mocks that I've seen and just talking to people in the Giants community, I like the mocks where if you're not going to go quarterback in the first, just don't go quarterback in the second, and just you know what I mean? There's a lot of value in the second round where you could address a lot of different positions, like
where I would just punt quarterback at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, look, we punt quarterback.
Exactly. That's what I would like us to do. And that, I mean, you saw that with what I did in the second. I'm like, okay, Luther Burden's here.
Right. Like, so either we're rocking or we're not. Like, we're doing this, or, you know what I'm saying? We're picking the guy because we believe in him, or we're just not touching the position because we don't think any of these guys are good enough.
Exactly. And then if you want to throw a dart in the 5th or 6th, I guess, but even then.
But there's no expectations from that for that player. You know, it's house money, anything, you know what I mean? Like a 4th round pick.
And again, Joe Shane hasn't picked a quarterback his entire time here, which is why I think all this shit is smoke. You got to remember when it came to the Thibodeau draft, the reports were, we don't like Thibodeau. When it came to last year's draft, the reports were, we like J.J. McCarthy. We went Malik Neighbors. So I feel like they're not trying to make the block hot.
I think y'all liked him. I don't think y'all liked him as much as you like Malik Neighbors, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that was cap that y'all was cool with JJ, but I don't think that it was, it would have been some weird. It would have had to be some weird stuff happening. The Chargers probably would have had to take Malik Neighbors at 5 or something like that in order for y'all.
I think we just go with Doomsday.
Okay, right. You would probably just go another wide receiver, right?
Yeah, and technically, Doomsday did go above JJ, so.
Right. Yeah. So
who knows?
Right. Yeah. But again, that old JJ, I told you I'll snap that out from the beginning. I was like, this is Jim Harbaugh, minions at work. It is at work. This is cat.
But I mean, that's how it turned out, and it seems like, I mean, it looks like they're going to give him his shot, or they would have signed Aaron Rodgers by now.
Yeah.
It seems like Aaron Rodgers wants to go there, but we'll see. I mean, the rest of the quarterbacks seem like they're on their way. Sure, but yeah. Next up, we're going to actually react to last year's mock draft that we had. We actually had a mock last year right before the draft. We got some picks right, some players that turned out to be really worth that first round pick, and the higher draft positions we had going higher. And yeah, stay tuned for that. But you got anything else when it comes to this?
Nah, just like and subscribe. We're gonna see you later.
All right, man. We out.
Peace.